Okay, time for a Lamley showcase. We are going to show off some of the models from the Matchbox case. Some of the models that I think are significant. Once again, this is sponsored by A&J Toys. They provided the models, and just give them a call. Go to their website, letter A and the word and J, letter J, toys.com. Ken and the gang over there will help you. I would say, like I have said before, if you are into Matchbox, I think getting a case of Matchbox is a great way to go. We've seen some newer ones show up at Walmart. If you're outside of the United States, I don't know all the stores that are getting them. It's kind of inconsistent. Dollar Tree's been great. But if you want to guarantee certain models like the upcoming Skyline, I would say order a case. I don't know exactly what batch the Skyline's going to be in. It's going to be either L or M, if not both. But, here, I'm going to move this back just a tad. But I would say order those cases. And as soon as I know what batch the Skyline is in, I'll let you know, because a lot of you have asked. So, alright, we're going to go through some of these models. I'm going to start with the Hydro Cruiser. So there's the model. I'm going to open them up. And like I said, here you go. Now we're going to try and move in just a little bit. Enough to show the card, but this is a boat, and boats aren't that interesting, especially Matchbox. But there's a boat, and there's water. So they have provided water for the boat. It's fake water, but it's a little bit better for a boat that can't float because it's got metal. I mean, maybe it floats. I don't know. I just don't care enough to try. Boat. Alright. Okay. Next one. Chevy Silverado. Said we've seen this one plain before. We'll do it like this. We've seen it in red, we've seen it in blue, we've seen it in gray. Now we see it in white with a black grill, right? And a "What's up" elevator service. While you're looking at that, I'm walking over here to my displays. I'm gonna try and find something, but I think, oh yeah. I'm actually going to open up this one. I'm getting something out for later. Alright. Okay. Alright, that is the Chevy Silverado. Next up, now typically I am not going to show a turn, what is this? A turn tamer. Because it's a terrible model. Like it's a generic, they call it an original, it's supposed to be some sort of SUV type car. But the reason I think it's somewhat interesting is they actually made a decent, I mean, okay, it's relative of course, but they actually made a somewhat decent version of it. I'm going to try and fight that glare a little bit, but there. Plain white with a little hood decoration and real tail lights. Now they didn't put headlights on it. What does that say? And I'm looking at it up close. Turn tamer there on the front. Alright. If you keep looking at it, I mean, it's, I'm not going to collect it, but it is interesting. Alright, here's another Matchbox original. This is the Blaze Blitzer, kind of based on a European style fire truck, but it is generic. But this one does have the Wilton Fire livery on it, and even a Wilton Fire, the website, wiltonfire.org, down there below, if you look at it. I think that's very cool. I can't remember if we've seen Wilton before. And I know it's in the east somewhere, and I apologize those of you who are members of the Wilton Fire Department. You can definitely leave it here. I'm going to look. It might say there, but I can't see. Here. I can't tell. But this is based on a real fire truck. At least the livery is based on a real fire truck. So that's a keeper in my book when it has the real livery on it. And I think that's as far as generics go, that's how to do them. I think, because it's highly detailed. And yes, there's Pierce and there's other fire truck companies, but as long as it looks real, I think it's cool. And that one definitely looks real. So that's a nice model, a keeper in my book. While that is happening, let's open the last of the generics. And this is the Urban Tow Truck, another one I would never show because I'm not terribly impressed by the casting. But we have a few models this year that, and I will show all of these at the end of the year. I don't know if this is all of them. That are the Michael Geralda 5000 Design Specials. And if you look right above the front wheel, you'll see, I know in that white it's kind of hard, it says 5000. And you've got it in this kind of special livery. In fact, this came in the case too. So you have the tow truck. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Michael Geralda retired. If you haven't heard me say this on the other videos, Michael Geralda retired last summer, a year ago. And he estimates that he designed about 5,000 decos for Hot Wheels and Matchbox. And so he did a special series through both brands that are based on the first design he did, the Ford Escort back in 19-something, 2000-something. He did a Ford Fiesta for Hot Wheels that was very similar. And like I said, I'll do a video on all these and show them all off. And then he's done, I think, 4 models. This is the fourth. The Dodge A100 was the third. And you can see the 5000 on it. You can see the number 28. Team MH, which is Team Michael Geralda. And yeah, so that one is the support team. It's like a racing brand, and this one is also of the support team. So this is a cool little special series. I would definitely suggest keeping, collecting, and like I said, at the end of the year I will showcase all of them because there's a few of them, and that's pretty cool. There's 3 Hot Wheels, all the Ford Fiesta. Anyway. Alright, Ford Cargo. I mentioned this in the other video. While it has some front deco, no side deco, and no rear deco, it actually gets the 2 tampo paths, which is the rule with Matchbox. So that means either they're going to do the front and the rear, or they're going to do the sides. So in this case, front, or front, rear. You can't tell on these again. Front, rear, or side, side. In this case, front, front, because this is 2 pieces, right? The metal piece up above and the plastic piece down below. They colored it blue, if you can see that sheer right there, that sheen in blue, plus the headlights, and then the logo up top. So that is actually 2 tampo passes because they're passed before it's assembled, right? So that looks good in blue next to the red one. So that is a cool model. While that's showing, let's do the Land Rover Defender. The Defender is always a popular model. And it has gone through 3 incarnations. And in terms of design, and here is the third. It's a little shorter. We've seen this one already. Now those in the United States haven't seen it yet. That's my phone ringing, and I apologize. We've seen the taller version. This is the shorter version. The first time this was released was in the Land Rover series, which we've seen. Model-Matic had it, and I think it's been found in the UK and Australia. We haven't seen it in the US yet. I think there's plans for it to be released in the US. But this is the first, so this may be the first version we see in the US. in white. But the the roof has been shortened, and there's been some more plastic added in the roof, and the model's been shortened. I actually like this version better because there's more lift on the Defender. I think my only complaint on it is that instead of doing all the deco up top, they should have just smoothed it out like the standard Defender. Just remove the rack instead of trying to just shorten it. But that is the Defender. And lastly, my favorite model of the batch, the National Parks Dodge Ram. So take a look. I'm going to explain the National Parks here in a second. Just take a look at the model. I'm escaping back to my display. You can hear me opening it. Alright, so National Parks. I can't remember if I've done a video on the National Parks, but this was first, I think the first National Parks livery was seen in, I think, 2007 on a Chevy Tahoe. Since then, a plethora of models have been sporting the National Parks livery. This is the first model to debut in it. We've seen fire trucks like brush trucks. We've seen pickup trucks like this one. We've seen some Matchbox originals. We've seen them come in the basics like this one. We've seen them come in 10 packs. We've seen them come in 5 packs. Here's another one. This is the Chevy Silverado, the lifted Silverado. This one actually was only found in Canada. It's by far the hardest to find. It was an exclusive in 10 packs, only released in Canada. But that Chevy Silverado sports the National Parks livery, and I'll do another video showing all of those if I haven't. I need to go back in my videos and see if I've done it. But this Dodge Ram is the first one to debut, first casting to debut in this livery, and it's not an official licensed livery for National Parks, but it is very close to the livery here in the U.S. in that color. Not to be confused, the Matchbox also does a Forest Service livery, which is very similar. But take a look at the model. There's the guard there at the front. Bed, very detailed. Interior, I'm sure there's fun little secrets in there, which whoever's first to take it apart, you can show us. I'm not one to do that. But this model is tremendous. Anyway, those are the highlights of the Matchbox K-Case. You can definitely see them at lamleygroup.com. The Dodge Ram we already showcased a few weeks ago, but I'll showcase some of these others, and we'll definitely do a piece on Geralda's models when that's all said and done. Bye!